With winter starting in the UK and temperatures going to drop often to even below 0 degrees Celsius, most of you would be thinking of installing some kind of heating system. And if you're aware of the UK's transition to green living, there is a high chance you'll be considering air source heat pumps. However, if you have any reservations or haven't made a decision to install or shift from the traditional gas heating system, then stick right to the video. As in today's video, we are going to discuss the feasibility of air source heat pumps in the UK, and we'll also talk about their pros and cons to make it easy for you to decide. So, make sure you watch the video till the end, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, so you don't miss any future videos we upload. Getting back to the video, air source heat pumps could be hailed as the future of home heating. But, as of right now, the adoption rate of this renewable heating technology in the United Kingdom falls below that of its European counterparts. The purchase of an air source heat pump as a replacement for a gas boiler is unquestionably set to become one of the primary options for UK homeowners, given that a ban on gas boilers is on the horizon, as well as the government's newly launched boiler upgrade scheme, which provides a grant of £5,000 towards the installation of this low-carbon heating source. In light of these two developments, an air source heat pump is undoubtedly set to become one of the main options for UK homeowners. Nevertheless, this is not an easy deal. Because of the expensive initial expenditure and the fact that it will ideally require upgrades to the structure of a home in order for it to be practical, the installation of an air source heat pump is often more suitable for new construction than for retrofitting at the current time. However, when it comes to the production of renewable heating for the home, nothing compares to the effectiveness of air source heat pumps. In the next part of our video, we'll talk about the pros and cons and give you all the important information you need to know before making a decision. So, these are some factors to help you get some ideas and knowledge about the feasibility of air source heat pumps in the UK. Now, to get the most out of your air source heat pump, it's necessary to appropriately design and specify the system, and ideally the insulation, air tightness, and emitters. Usually underfloor heating or precisely sized radiators of the house should be optimized. Moving forward, let's talk about how the air source heat pumps are beneficial in the UK and what advantages you can consider having while installing this system. The first and foremost advantage of air source heat pumps in the UK is benefits from the RHI scheme. There are two distinct sorts of programs that the UK government offers in order to facilitate the installation of renewable heating systems. There is the possibility that you're qualified to receive a payment through the Domestic Renewable Heat Incentive, or RHI program. This program is geared for homeowners, social and private landlords, as well as self-builders. The non-domestic renewable heat incentive, on the other hand, is available to members of the public sector, including corporations, organizations, and industries. Running cost. Air source heat pumps have a lower cost of operation compared to combustion-based systems. The more energy efficient the systems are, the more money will be saved on energy throughout their lifetime. Even though the cost of installing an air source heat pump can go as high as £45,000, doing so can result in annual savings of up to £1,400 if you go ahead with the expenditure. Lowered energy costs. Since an air source heat pump utilizes air from the atmosphere for both heating and cooling, they may significantly cut down on monthly energy costs. If you're transitioning from an electric or coal-based system, the amount of money you will save will be significantly higher. You'll be entitled to obtain RHI payments, which make up a large percentage of your investment, despite the fact that the initial costs are very expensive. Using an air source heat pump might save you up to £1,335 over the course of a year. Maintenance. Air source heat pumps have lower maintenance needs compared to heating systems that rely on combustion. Some specifics of the system need to be reviewed on a regular basis, at least once a year, and this is something that you are more than capable of doing on your own. On the other hand, the system needs to be checked by a professional once every 3 to 5 years. Long lifespan. Heat pumps that use air as their heat source have a long lifespan. In fact, if they're properly maintained, they can continue to function for 20 to 25 years. In addition to this, the majority of air source heat pumps come with a warranty that's valid for 5 years. There have been a number of advancements in technology that have made it possible for current heat pumps to continue functioning effectively for close to 25 years before they need to be replaced. Better safety. Heat pumps are more environmentally friendly compared to heating systems that rely on combustion. Because they're powered by electricity rather than fuel and don't require combustion of any kind to produce heat, they pose a far lower risk of fire and explosion when compared to the alternatives. Environmentally friendly. The use of an air source heat pump system may help you cut down on your carbon emissions, while also providing an effective means of transforming energy into heat. For instance, air source heat pumps achieve an efficiency of close to 600%, which is considered quite high. Multiple usage system. You could also be able to heat your water with an air source heat pump, but this will depend on the specific model you have. This is dependent on the water temperature that's flowing through the heating system, which is also referred to as the flow temperature. The temperature of the flow must be roughly 55 degrees Celsius for the water to be able to be heated. The flow temperature will be 35 degrees if the only function that your system is meant to perform is space heating. So, if you want to heat both the place in which you live and the water that you use, then you'll need to select an air source heat pump that has a flow temperature of 55 degrees Celsius. So, that was all the good stuff about the air source heat pump. But this system also carries many drawbacks, some of which are too serious to consider depending upon your usage. Air source heat pumps offer a low heat supply in comparison to other available options, which is a significant drawback that should be taken into consideration. This indicates that in order for you to get the most out of your air source heat pump, you need to have a home that's adequately insulated and preferably also has underfloor heating. Another issue that frequently arises with air source heat pumps is their tendency to make a lot of noise. Therefore, the decision on where to put them might have a significant impact. Apart from that, there are some other drawbacks. Let's talk about them in detail. The high changing cost. Since air source heat pumps are powered by electricity, which is presently priced at 34p per kilowatt hour in the UK, that makes them 3 times more expensive than gas, which is priced at 10.3p per kilowatt hour. But that was then, and this is now. Over the past year, the price of wholesale gas has gone up by 404%, which means that millions of households will have to pay more each year. According to the Independent Climate Change Committee, the average price of gas will be 50% higher in 2030 than it is today. And as the cost of gas goes up, the cost of electricity goes down. Furthermore, according to the National Infrastructure Commission, or NIC's forecast, power will cost 12.8p per kilowatt hour in 2050. If heat pumps gain significant popularity, the NIC estimates that the average price might drop to 11.7p per kilowatt hour. This would be a significant decrease from the present level. Because of these shifts, a majority of Britons now prefer renewable energy sources over gas for heating their homes. Moreover, investing in solar panels to produce power for your heat pump and energy demands might help you save even more money, but you still have to spend more on it. Lower efficiency below 0 degrees Celsius. Although air source heat pumps may function at temperatures as low as -20 degrees Celsius, their efficiency begins to decrease as the temperature drops below 0 degrees Celsius. This is due to the fact that they are wholly reliant on air from the surrounding environment, and as the temperature drops, so does the total amount of heat that the pump is able to deliver. Apart from that, heat pumps that get their heat from the earth, on the other hand, have pipes that are buried deep in the ground. These heat pumps have a temperature that's more consistent and are not as impacted by cold conditions. Fewer savings than low-cost mains gas. If you have access to low-cost mains gas, then the difference in cost between the price of gas and the price of electricity for powering an air source heat pump won't be very important for you. It is nevertheless the case that heat pumps constitute a significant financial commitment for many people. You may anticipate more low-carbon incentives to make the move, since the future of the UK is centred on greatly expanding the number of heat pump installations. Air source heat pumps are noisy. When in operation, an air source heat pump can produce a sound that is analogous to that of a conventional air conditioner or of moderate to substantial rainfall. However, businesses are always developing new technologies in order to enhance this and lessen the amount of noise that their products produce. But still, the units available on the UK market are those that produce a lot of sound, so be ready for it then. Costly underfloor heating installation. In order to get the most out of the system and compensate for the reduced heat supply that air source heat pumps provide, it's most usually utilized in conjunction with underfloor heating. This is due to the fact that you will not require temperatures to be as high in order to operate this. Nonetheless, you will not want to stand on a floor that's 40 degrees Celsius. If you don't already have an underfloor heating system, this could mean that the cost of installing one will be higher than it would otherwise. Lower heat supply comparatively. When compared to oil and gas boilers, the air source heat pumps have a lesser heat supply, which means that larger radiators may be required to compensate for the lack of heat. When radiators are connected to boilers, the temperature of the water that is cycled within the radiators might potentially run at a higher level than that of an air source heat pump system. Therefore, in order to achieve the same level of room heating, you'll want a bigger heat-emitting surface area, which will add to the cost. So overall, it's not feasible for larger properties due to their high cost. And that's all for today's video, guys. What do you think of today's video? Tell us your views in the comments section. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. See you in the next one. Until then, cheers.